The unexpected surrender the planet Carian 5 was burning. Explosions shook the ground as human soldiers fought the alien army. Dark smoke filled the sky, and the sound of laser guns and war machines echoed everywhere. In the middle of this chaos, a name made every human soldier tremble. General Alira, the most feared alien woman in the galaxy. She was tall, with silver skin and glowing red eyes. Her armor was black and sharp, and she never showed mercy. Many human armies had fallen before her, and today, it looked like she would win again. But something strange happened. A single human soldier, standing alone on a destroyed battlefield, faced her. His name was Evan Carter, but no one knew much about him. He looked like an ordinary soldier with a dusty uniform and a tired face. His gun was broken, and he had no backup. Round him, bodies lay still, human and alien both. General Alira slowly walked towards him. Her army stood behind her, silent and waiting for her command. Human soldiers, hiding far away, watched this moment with fear. Everyone expected her to kill him instantly, but instead, she stopped a few steps in front of Evan. Her glowing red eyes looked into his calm brown eyes. There was a strange silence, as if the battlefield itself was holding its breath. Then, without any warning, General Alira did something no one could believe. She bent her knee. She knelt down in front of this human soldier. Her head lowered, her sword dropped to the ground. The most feared alien general was surrendering. For a moment, everyone froze. Even Evan Carter stood still, confused. Why? Why would the Emperor's most powerful general kneel before an ordinary human soldier? Alira spoke, her voice calm but heavy. "I surrender. To you, Evan Carter." Her words echoed across the field. Alien soldiers looked at each other in shock. Human soldiers whispered in disbelief. The Emperor himself, watching the battle from his throne far away, stood up in rage. How was this possible? General Alira never lost. Never but now. She was kneeling before a man who looked like a nobody. Evan did not speak. He stared at her for a long moment. His face showed no emotion, but inside his mind was racing. He did not expect this. He did not understand it. Or did he? Deep in his heart, there was something familiar about Alira's eyes. As if they had met before, but how could that be? He had never seen her, or had he? The other alien soldiers started moving forward, confused and angry. Some raised their weapons at their own general. Alira did not move. Evan slowly stepped forward, looking into her eyes. "Why are you doing this?" he asked quietly. Alira did not answer. Instead, she whispered something only Evan could hear. "It's time to fulfill the promise." Evan's heart skipped a beat. What promise? Before he could ask more, a loud voice came from the alien commander. "Seize them both." Suddenly, alien soldiers rushed forward to arrest both Alira and Evan. Human snipers from the hills fired shots to protect Evan. But there were too many aliens. Evan grabbed Alira's fallen sword. He had no idea how to use such a weapon, but he held it firmly. Alira looked up at him and smiled a sad, knowing smile. "You will understand soon," she said. The alien soldiers surrounded them both, far above in the sky. The Emperor's warship watched everything, and inside, the Emperor's eyes burned with fury. "How does this human control her?" he whispered to himself. "Who is this Evan Carter?" And deep in the shadows of Evan's mind, old memories began to wake up. The human soldier's secret, the cold metal walls of the alien prison, echoed with silence. Evan Carter sat alone in a dark cell. His hands were tied with glowing chains that felt heavy. Almost alive. Hours had passed since General Alira's strange surrender. Why did she kneel before him? Why did she whisper about a promise? These questions repeated in Evan's mind. Suddenly, a deep voice spoke from outside the cell. "The Emperor demands answers." 2 alien guards appeared. Their armor shone bright, and their faces were hidden behind masks. Without a word, they pulled Evan to his feet and dragged him down a long hallway. The walls were covered in strange alien symbols that seemed to glow as he walked past them. But something inside Evan felt different, stronger, as if this place was familiar. Flashback begins. 10 years ago, secret laboratory on a hidden human base. Evan was younger then, just 18. Scientists stood around him, speaking in hushed voices. Project Origin, they called it. He is the key. They injected something into his blood. It burned like fire. He screamed after that day. He was no longer an ordinary human, but even Evan didn't know what they put inside him. He had forgotten most of this until now. Flashback ends. As he was dragged through the alien fortress, bits of his memory returned like broken pieces of a puzzle. When they reached the end of the hall, a large door slid open with a loud hiss. Inside, General Alira was sitting calmly on the floor. Her glowing red eyes looked up at Evan as if she had been waiting for him. "Leave us," she ordered the guards. Without hesitation, the guards obeyed. The door closed behind Evan, and now it was just the 2 of them in a quiet, cold room. Evan sat down slowly. "Why did you kneel before me?" Alira tilted her head, watching him closely. "Because long ago your father saved my life," she said softly, "and he made me swear an oath." Evan froze. My father was a simple engineer. He died when I was a child." Alira smiled, but there was sadness in her eyes. "That is what they told you. But your father was more than that. He was the man who helped create the serum inside you. The serum that makes you different." Evan's heart raced. Serum. Inside me. Alira stood and slowly walked towards him. "Your blood, your DNA, can unlock the Emperor's greatest weapon. That is why he fears you. That is why I surrendered." The truth was like lightning in Evan's mind. Suddenly, everything made sense. His forgotten past, his strange strength, the Emperor's interest in him. Before Evan could speak, loud alarm rang through the prison. Alira looked at him with urgency. "The Emperor is coming. He will kill us both unless we escape now." She reached out her hand. "Trust me. I swore to protect you, Evan Carter." Cliffhanger ending. Evan stared at her hand. Should he trust the enemy general? Could she really be telling the truth? Outside, heavy footsteps echoed closer as the Emperor's royal guards marched toward the door. Evan had only seconds to decide. Inside the alien empire, the air inside the grand alien palace was cold and heavy. Tall black walls surrounded the throne room, lit by strange blue lights that made every shadow look alive. Alien nobles in dark robes stood in silence, their glowing eyes fixed on the prisoners who had just arrived. In chains stood General Alira, once the most feared warrior of the alien empire. Beside her was Evan Carter, the unknown human soldier, who had confused everyone. The Emperor sat on his high throne, his face half hidden behind a golden mask. His long fingers tapped the armrest slowly, but his burning eyes watched them carefully. No one had ever imagined this scene. General Alira, their greatest weapon, a symbol of alien power, had knelt before a human ant. Now she was in chains. The Emperor finally spoke. His voice was soft but sharp like a knife. "General Alira, explain yourself." The room fell completely silent. Everyone waited for her answer. But Alira did not look at the Emperor. Her red eyes were fixed only on Evan Carter. Then she spoke calmly. "I will speak, but only to him." Gasps filled the hall. The nobles whispered to each other, Why was she ignoring the emperor? Why did she want to speak to a low human soldier? The emperor's fingers stopped tapping. This is my court, General. You will answer me. But Alira did not move her gaze from Evan. This human knows the truth. She said the emperor's anger was growing, but there was also fear in his eyes, fear he could not hide. Evan was still quiet. He did not understand what truth she spoke of. Daunt in his mind, questions swirled. How could she know him? Why had she surrendered to him? What was she hiding? Suddenly, the emperor stood up. Take her away. She will not speak here. She will speak in the dungeons. Guards grabbed Alira and Evan both. As they were pulled away, Alira whispered to Evan again, her voice urgent but soft. You must remember who you are, before it's too late. Her words hit something deep inside Evan. Remember who I am, he thought. He was just a soldier, right? Or was he? In the alien dungeons later that night, deep inside the cold stone walls of the palace, Evan sat alone in a dark cell. Suddenly, the door opened. A guard pushed Alira inside and locked the door behind them both. Now, alone in the darkness, Evan and Alira finally faced each other properly. Alira spoke first, her voice softer now, almost kind. Evan Carter, you were not supposed to come here like this, but destiny brought you back. Evan stepped back, confused. Back. I've never been here before, he said. Alira gave a sad smile. You don't remember yet. They erased your memories. Long ago. His heart pounded. His memories. She stepped closer. 20 years ago, you were here, in this palace. As a child. Evan froze. Impossible. But as she spoke, flashes of old memories started to stir in his mind. A boy running through alien halls. A tall man in a golden mask, holding his hand. The sound of strange music. He grabbed his head, feeling dizzy. Alira continued. You are not just a soldier. You are the key. The Emperor is afraid of you, Evan. That's why he never allowed you to remember. Evan's breathing became heavy. Afraid of me? Why? What do you mean? I'm the key. Alira placed her hand gently on his shoulder. Your blood can control the Empire's ultimate weapon. The core. Evan's eyes widened. The core? What is that? Alira's expression grew dark. A weapon that can destroy entire worlds. Your father helped build it, and you are the only one who can unlock it. His mind raced. His father. He had no memories of any father. The Emperor's true fear inside the high walls of the alien palace. Darkness ruled. The Emperor stood alone at a tall window, staring at the burning horizon of his world. His golden mask reflected the orange flames outside. But his mind was not on the war anymore. His mind was on Evan Carter. The words of General Alira echoed inside him. He is the key. For the first time in many years, the Emperor felt something. He hated. Feared on the deep prison below the palace, Evan Carter sat quietly in the corner of his cold stone cell. His thoughts raced a day ago. He believed he was just an ordinary human soldier. Now, he had learned that he was much more. The Emperor was his father. His blood could control the most dangerous weapon ever built, the core. But why had no one told him? Why had his memories been erased? And why did General Alira protect him? He remembered her words clearly. The Emperor will soon betray even his own army to destroy Earth. Suddenly, the heavy iron door of the cell opened. It was not a guard. It was the Emperor himself. The Emperor stepped into the cell, his long black cloak trailing behind him, his golden mask shining in the dim light. His cold voice broke the silence. Evan stood up, slowly. Why did you hide? The truth from me. Evan asked. The Emperor's voice was calm but full of poison. Because you were never meant to know. He stepped closer. You were created. For one purpose. Evan's heart pounded. Purpose. What purpose? The Emperor tilted his head slightly. You are a tool, Evan. A key to unlock the core. When you were a child, I planned to use your DNA to activate the weapon. But you escaped before the process was complete. I sent my best agents to find you. But your mother hid you on Earth. Evan's eyes widened. His mother had no memory of her either. The Emperor continued. Alira was sent to Earth years ago to kill you. But she didn't. She protected you. She failed me again. Now she has brought you back to me. And this time you will not escape. Evan clenched his fists. Why? Why destroy Earth? The Emperor's mask glinted as he laughed softly. Earth has become dangerous. Humanity has grown too strong. I will end them before they end me. And you, Evan? You will help me do it, whether you wish it or not. Suddenly, guards entered. Dragging General Alira in chains, her face was bruised, but her spirit was unbroken. She locked eyes with Evan. Do not believe his lies, she shouted. You are not his weapon. You are more. The Emperor raised his hand and struck her hard. She fell to the floor, but her eyes stayed on Evan. The core can destroy planets, she gasped, but it can also heal them. You are not just a key to death. You are the key to life, Evan. Evan froze. His mind was spinning. Everything he thought he knew was wrong. The Emperor smiled under his mask. You don't know how powerful you truly are. Your blood is not just a weapon. It's the code that can reshape entire worlds. Evan's memories began to return in flashes. His mother's face, running through the halls as a child. Alira standing protectively before him. Even then, tears formed in his eyes. The Emperor's voice became cold again. Prepare him for the core chamber. Guards grabbed Evan roughly. Alira struggled to her knees. Evan, you have a choice, she cried. You can obey him or stop him. The betrayal of the core chamber was deep. Underground, a place no outsider had ever seen. The walls glowed softly with strange alien symbols. The energy inside felt alive, like a heartbeat beneath the planet itself. Evan Carter stood in the center of the chamber, surrounded by guards in black armor. His wrists were tied with glowing energy cuffs. At the far end of the chamber, the Emperor stood tall, watching from a high platform. His golden mask shone under the blue lights. A cold voice echoed through the chamber speakers. Begin the process. The guards forced Evan's hand onto a strange console. The moment his skin touched the core woke up. Blue lights ran across the walls. The symbols began to spin. A deep hum filled the air, growing louder every second. The Emperor smiled beneath his mask. But then, something unexpected happened. Suddenly, the walls flickered. Alarms screamed. The floor shook violently as explosions ripped through the palace above. A voice crackled over the intercom. Intruders in the palace. Human forces have landed. The Emperor's smile disappeared. Impossible, he whispered, before he could react. The chamber doors exploded open. Through the smoke walked General Alira, covered in dust and blood, but alive. Her armor was cracked, but her spirit burned stronger than ever. Behind her marched a small team of human soldiers, survivors of Evan's old unit who had secretly followed him into the alien empire. Alira raised her blaster. Enough, Emperor, she said. You lied to your own people. You lied to me. You lied to him. The guards hesitated. Even they were confused. Their greatest general was now standing beside humans. The Emperor stepped forward, voice full of fury. Traitor, you serve me. Alira shook her head slowly. Not anymore. She turned to Evan. This is your chance. The core responds only to you. You can end him or help him destroy everything. Evan's mind was racing. His blood still flowed through the core's control system. The lights pulsed. Faster. The core itself seemed to wait for his decision. The Emperor roared. Activate the final sequence. Obliterate Earth. One of the alien engineers rushed to obey, but Evan acted faster. He pulled his hands free, breaking the energy cuffs. The core accepted only his command now. The guards rushed forward, but Alira and the human soldiers opened fire. A battle broke out right inside the core chamber. Evan ran toward the central console. His memories came back in full now. His mother had told him once, long ago, "Your blood holds a choice, Evan. Destruction or creation." The Emperor reached for a control panel, trying to override the system. Evan placed his hand flat on the console. He spoke clearly, a command that only the core could hear. Lock all weapons. The core glowed bright, almost blinding. The Emperor froze in disbelief as all alien weapons deactivated across the Empire. Their ships fell silent. Their guns powered down for the first time. The Emperor had no weapon, but the betrayal was not over. Yet, the Emperor's own guards suddenly turned on him. They had seen his lies. They knew he had planned to betray even them, to sacrifice his own people to keep power. One by one, they lowered their weapons and knelt before Evan. The Emperor backed away slowly, fear in his voice. No, this can't be. Alira stepped forward and faced Evan. It's over, but you must decide what comes next. The final truth and victory. The core chamber glowed brighter than ever, in its blinding light. Evan Carter stood at the heart of everything. His hand hovered above the console. The Emperor knelt before him, broken and defeated, but still dangerous. Alira stood nearby. Her armor cracked, her body wounded, but her spirit strong. The guards of the Empire no longer followed the Emperor. They watched quietly, waiting for Evan's next move. The Emperor's voice was soft but poisonous. If you spare me, I will return, stronger. But if you kill me, you will become just like me. His golden mask slipped slightly, revealing part of his pale face, eyes full of hatred and fear. Alira stepped forward, placing her hand gently on Evan's shoulder. You are not like him, she whispered. You have a choice. Use the core. Not to destroy, but to heal. Evan's memories were fully back now. He remembered running through these same halls as a child. He remembered his mother, a kind human woman who had fallen in love with the Emperor, only to be betrayed when she refused to let her child become a tool of war. His mother's last words echoed in his mind. Evan, one day you will hold their fate in your hands. Choose wisely. The core pulsed again. In that moment, Evan understood what it truly was. The core was not just a weapon of destruction. It was a device that could rebuild worlds, heal planets, bring peace, or end life. The Emperor had only seen its power to kill. But Evan could see its power to heal. The Emperor crawled forward, his voice trembling now. We can rule the galaxy. Together, Evan, father and son, the Empire will obey us both. Evan turned to Alira, his voice calm. Thank you. It's protecting me, even when I didn't understand. Alira smiled faintly. Your mother asked me to protect you. I made a promise. To her, tears filled Evan's eyes. In this moment, everything was clear. He faced the Emperor one last time. No more death. Evan said softly, no more war. With a single command, Evan reprogrammed the core. A wave of light burst from the chamber, spreading across the Empire not to destroy, but to disarm every weapon, to deactivate every warship, every gun, every bomb, the Empire's entire war machine. Shut down. The palace shook as systems powered off. Across the galaxy, fleets went dark. Peace had come not by force, but by Evan's choice. The Emperor screamed. His power was gone. His empire was finished. He lunged forward in a final act of rage, but Alira moved faster. She stepped between him and Evan. Taking the blade meant for Evan. The Emperor's knife pierced her side. Alira fell to her knees. Evan caught her before she hit the floor. The Emperor tried to run, but the guards, now loyal to Evan, grabbed him and dragged him away in silence. Alira looked up at Evan, her red eyes soft now. "Your mother would be proud," she whispered. Her breathing slowed. "You chose peace. I can rest now." With those words, her body went still. Evan held her gently. His heart ached, but he knew. She had kept her promise.